All right, guys, for our next project, we are going to be creating a surrealist work of art. So we're going to talk a little bit about what that means, what that is, and what your requirements are going to be for the project by looking at a couple examples of some famous works of surrealist art. This is probably one that you recognize, The Melting Clocks of Salvador Dali. This is called The Persistence of Memory, and it is a pretty good example of what surrealist art is. You'll notice that there are some very strange things going on. Um, the things that show up in the picture are realistic, but they are put together in a very strange way. Surrealist art focuses a lot on dreams. And I'm sure we all know that in dreams, some strange stuff can happen. We see here a closed eye on what looks like a face, maybe. We see these clocks that are melting in the heat. We see these insects over here. We see this flat plane in the background, this strange tree and mountains with what looks like an egg in front of them. So a lot of different things all coming together to make this interesting and very weird work of art. Okay? But let's break it down a little bit. First of all, like I said, we've got a lot of different things that are being put together that normally aren't put together. That's called juxtaposition, when we are rearranging things or putting things together that normally don't go together. We also see we've got a couple of clocks here. The idea of repeating things over and over again happens a lot in surrealist art. And the whole idea of not really knowing what's going on or being able to interpret the artwork in a lot of different ways is something that you'll see in just about every single example that we look at today. So let's look at another one. This one here is another famous one, a little simpler than the last one, but you'll see that the picture, all the things that are in this picture look fairly realistic. And that's part of what makes surrealism surrealism. It has to be based in realism. It has to have some realistic aspects to it. And then when you put them together in this new way, that's when it becomes strange and interesting. So a portrait with this apple right in front of his face. This is not something that you see every day, and it's not something that you would expect. So it's somewhat surprising to us. If we look at this one, there's a whole lot going on in this. Why is this ballet dancer on the beach? Why does she have an umbrella? Why are there little oars, paddles coming out of this record player here that's shooting out umbrellas into the background? What even is this going on back here in the corner? Okay, there's lots of different things to look and search for all over this work of art, and a lot of different things that normally don't go together that are being put together. Okay, this one here is an interesting one. These chameleons, these lizards, are much larger than they should be. And you can see that repetition again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different repeated lizards going on here. So changing the scale of things, making them bigger or smaller than they normally would be, is another thing that happens in a lot of surrealist art. This one also, again, lots going on. This guy has so many pockets and they're all turned inside out. He's much larger than the rest of the picture, that change in scale. We've got the repeated oil rigs going off into the background here. Okay? The gas tank here is being belted together, not something you'd normally be able to do with something that's, made of metal or plastic or whatever. Okay? And lastly, we have this one. Instead of the top of the tree here, we have the axe, which is what's normally used to cut down the tree, right? So you can play with thinking about different theories or different statements that you might want to make. All right, so let's just quickly go over this. This is what we're looking for. Surrealist art is surprising, unexpected, and dreamlike. These are the things that we want to have affecting the people that look at our work. And surrealist art can contain juxtaposition, putting things together that normally don't go together, or putting them next to things that don't normally go next to them, changing their scale and having repetition. These things are the things that you do to create these feelings in your work of art. So for this assignment, I want you to make a plan. We're going to be doing this using the program that we've been practicing with. I want you to think about, what things do I want to put together? What kind of scene do I want to make? What kind of statement do I want to make? And how can I make it surprising, unexpected, and dreamlike using juxtaposition, changes in scale, and or repetition? All right, good luck. I can't wait to see the ideas that you come up with and the artwork that comes from it as well.